And welcome back, everybody, to another live reaction here at I'm Not a Coach. I'm your host, Dave Huerta. Thank you so much for joining us, man. And sorry I'm a little late, guys. I ran out of tissue. No, I was working on my car. Motor oil, man, things. I was not crying for the last 30 minutes. All right, hold on. Yeah, man. Sometimes when you're working on your car, like that oil gets on you. Gets splashes on you. You know how you fix your car, right? Yeah, you guys know how to change your oil. Man things. Get the jack. Um, right, yeah, goes down. The car goes up. Yeah, I was doing that for a little bit. Just to kind of get my thoughts in order. The Packers tough loss. I wasn't emotional. Wasn't crying at all. Anyway, talking about the Vikings, they suck. No, I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, Minnesota going up against the Dallas Cowboys, two teams that have had a weird up and down season. The Minnesota Vikings mostly down, but when they win, they look like a team. They're like, oh, okay, their defense is good, their offense putting up some points, and then there are some weeks you're like, are we sure that JJ McCarthy knows that he's playing football? Like, I know he has a different identity. Does that identity identify as like a curler? Because he can't throw the damn ball to save his life. So, for the Minnesota Vikings, they are 5-8. They have been eliminated from the playoffs, and they are going up against a Dallas Cowboys team who is basically on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs. They had a great run through November, kind of into December, but a tough loss last week has them on the brink of elimination. To be honest with you, for the Dallas Cowboys, I don't think 2025 was going to be the year that they were going to be looking to be playoff contenders. I think next year in 2027 is more of what they're looking for. Obviously, they made some massive trades before the deadline. It got some guys from around the league: Logan Wilson, Williams, and then on top of that, they still have a multitude of early picks to be able to build out this defense, maybe add a few weapons on offense as well. So both of these teams are playing for mostly pride. Cowboys still in the playoff hunt, though. So we'll keep it there. David, first. Let's go. Absolutely. Captain Mickey Mouse, let me get them 1 second. Quarterback John Wolford, emergency quarterback for Minnesota. There we go. But yeah, man. So this is one of those few Sunday night games where I don't know if there will be a whole lot that we'll be talking about in terms of implications that will affect the playoff race. But once again, the Cowboys are still in it. If they need to win out, they need a lot of teams that are in front of them to lose, including the Packers, the 49ers, the Detroit Lions, who lost this week. They're gonna need a lot of help, man, for them to be able to make the playoffs, to make Jerry's gamble to trade away Micah Parsons just before the season pay off potentially. Um, Captain outside linebacker Chaz Chambliss out. Yeah, well, I heard the Minnesota is going to throw pick six. Good. We need healing in these times of difficult strife. And hopefully the Minnesota Vikings can give us some happiness by just crapping the bed and giving us a lot of pick sixes. As the Lord said, do unto them as pick sixes would do unto you. I feel like I might have offended a lot of people by that joke. Sorry. But hopefully you laughed a little bit. Just a little bit. Come on. Do it for me, man. I'm going through a tough time right now. Sorry, you're going to get unhinged Dave right now. I'm hungry. I'm sad. My team lost. So, yeah. Jalen Tolbert out for the Cowboys. Ooh, okay. Yeah, he's been kind of on the out ever since they've been getting some more players healthy at that position throughout the last couple of weeks. So the game is about to get underway here in just a few seconds. So we do have some news on some major injuries. So I'll go with the one that happened first. Patrick Mahomes is, I might be wrong, but from what I heard, it is confirmed that he did tear his ACL. So that sucks. One of the best quarterbacks in the NFL is going to be done for the rest of the year. Hopefully, he will be back to the start of next year. Hopefully, given the Chiefs' kingdom and his teammates some hope that the season will start out a little bit better than it did this year. And then for the Packers, this has not been confirmed, but the early indications is that Micah Parsons did also tear his ACL. So no word on any other Packer injuries, but unfortunately, Micah Parsons apparently will be getting an MRI done tomorrow, early tomorrow, and that will likely confirm what many people believe to be a season-ending injury. So, no good. No good. David, I thought it was scold the Vikings if they don't throw a pick six. Absolutely. 100%. Those Viking monsters. Dave, no, he didn't. He got a knee injury. Captain Mickey Mouse. Are you talking about Mahomes? David, Captain Mickey Mouse, Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Mahomes suffered a torn ACL in the closing minutes of Sunday 16 loss to the Chargers, team said. There you go. Yeah, man. So condolences to David, man, and everybody that roots for the Chiefs, man. It sucks. Never want to see injuries like that ever. All right. Kicking it off, and it's going to be an actually decent return here. Holy cow, man. Minnesota going to get the ball near the 30, it looks like. So. All right, JJ under center. Aaron Jones in the backfield. Jones gets the carry. He's going to break a tackle, stays on his feet, and he will pick up 5 or 6 yards. One thing to note, Aaron Jones went to UTEP over there in Texas. In his career as a Green Bay Packer, not only was he undefeated playing here in Jerry's world, he typically absolutely goes off. He is one of the best players, opposing players, when they play here in Dallas, man. The guy just goes Super Saiyan. I don't know how to describe it, man. So I think he averages like 2.5 touchdowns per game against Dallas here. Pass is batted up, and it's intercepted. It's intercepted. Unbelievable. Right off the bat, it's Williams, one of the newest members of the Cowboys, and that is how the game starts out. Only the second play from scrimmage for the Minnesota Vikings, and it ends in an interception for J.J. McCarthy. Wow. Corner blitz. Donovan Wilson was the corner that was blitzing, able to get a hand on it, pops the ball up, and it lands in the lap of Williams. Wow. Well, Minnesota just said, yeah, let's just get this over with. We suck. Hands it off. Javonte picks up about a yard on the play. An MRI has confirmed the Chiefs sustained the torn ACL. There we go. Yep. All right, that's how you do it, Vikings. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is the pickup that I needed. I already feel better. All right, ball at the 29-yard line. Dak in the shotgun, 2 receivers on that right side. Looks, throws it over the middle. That is incomplete. Trying to get it out to Span Ford, the backup tight end. Third and 8. And CeeDee Lamb will pick up about 4, maybe 5 on that play. It'll be 4th down. Cowboys getting a field goal attempt out of this turnover. I mean, if I'm them, dude, I'd go for it. But yeah, no. The Minnesota Vikings are a really, really good freaking defense, man. All right, Brandon Aubrey, one of the best deep kickers in the NFL. Oh, it's a fake! It's a fake! Brandon Aubrey runs, slides, 1st down, Cowboys. Oh my God. Beautiful. Beautiful. Man, I might have to get myself a Brandon Aubrey jersey. Jesus. Big fan. Big fan of this guy. And he's already has more positive offensive yards than the entire Minnesota offense. Let's go. Good job. Picked up about 5 yards on the run there. 1st and 10. Javonte up the middle, picks up 2 down to the 21. You know, let's freaking go. Haha, nice burn. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hey, we got 4 people watching right now. Let's go. Let's freaking go, man. Please leave a like and subscribe. Helps out the channel, helps out the video as well. Thank you. All right, Dak in the shotgun, running back right in front of him, actually. And it'll be a single receiver to the left side. Throws it underneath, gets it out to Flournoy. Picks up a 1st down to the 11. Ooh, Ryan Flournoy, man. He's been coming on the last couple weeks. Had a massive game last week after CeeDee Lamb left with a concussion. Yeah, Flournoy, I think he finished with double-digit catches, 115 yards. Sorry, 9 catches, not double-digit. Double-digit targets. But 115 yards and a touchdown as well. So he had a massive freaking game. All right, 1st and 10. Run up the middle. Javonte picks up 6 yards, getting it down to the 5. 2nd and 4 coming up. Chris putting that soccer stride to work. Absolutely, man. Looking like a striker. Looking like Cristiano Ronaldo running out there with those big long strides. Chris, what's going on, my brother? It's good to have you back, my man. Dahlia, let's go. Go Cowgirls. Vikings. Can we just both lose? I don't think so, fortunately. But I'll take a Vikings loss. That's always good. And a run up the middle that picks up another yard down near the 4. So 3rd down coming up. They can get a 1st down without getting a touchdown here. I think they need to get it down to the 2. Holy cow, man. We got 6 people watching. Let's freaking go, man. Please leave a like and subscribe, man. It helps out the video, helps out the channel a ton. All right, Dak in the shotgun, running back to his right. He's got 3 receivers on that left side. Dak runs it himself, and he picks up the 1st, getting it down to the 1. They're marking him about half a yard shy, but I don't think that's a good spot. Hopefully they get some replay assistance because I feel like they're jipping Dak on that one. And it's going to be a first down run, it looks like. Run it right up the gut with Javonte. Once again, Cowboys look like they are 2 for 2 here on fourth down on this drive. Previously, they faked a field goal with Aubrey. He was able to run to the right side, pick up 5 yards, and slide for a first down. And now they run just right up the gut, get it right to the 1, first down, first and goal. All right, first down is confirmed. First and goal coming up. I mean, if you root for the Vikings, then it might hurt Dallas's chance of playoffs. But if you root for Dallas, it's against the Vikings. So, very true, very true. See Strong. Good morning, sir. And a handoff, and Williams punching it into the end zone, and the Cowboys get the first score, and they are able to take advantage of the J.J. McCarthy interception. TD morning, Seastrom. Let's go. Look at that, dude. Seastrom, you pop into the chat and your Cowboys score a touchdown. I mean, I'm not saying they're correlated, but I mean, it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. If they tie, they both have lose, so I'll go for a tie here. No, we don't want to watch an overtime with the Vikings. No, that's even more torturous than if they win. No, that means that we have to watch 60 minutes of game time for them and then plus an extra 10. Please, no. No. Haven't we suffered enough today? Pick the Cowboys to win. We'll see. I think it's a good I think it's a good choice, man. I think it's a safe choice in my opinion. All right, extra point is good. Cowboys take an early 7-0 lead over the Minnesota Vikings. All right, let's quickly look around the league and let's do some updates. Just one more around the horn with all these games basically wrapped up. Holy freaking cow, man. We got 7 people watching right now, man. Let's freaking go. Appreciate you guys. Please make sure you leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't. It's a great way to support us on the channel. Support me, I should say. I don't know why I keep on saying us. There's somebody else. All right. So, starting with the first game that happened kind of today. Ravens and Bengals. Ravens with a massive shutout in the division, keeping pace with the Steelers a little bit. They beat the Bengals 24-0. And then we're going to move on to another shutout game. That was, luckily, we didn't stream that one. Eagles shutting out the Raiders 31-0. That was actually the first game to end. It ended almost like 8 to 10 minutes earlier than any other game that started in the early afternoon. So, luckily for Eagles and Raiders fans, they didn't not have to suffer through a long game. Texans getting a 40-20 victory over the Cardinals, and the Chargers getting a 16-13 victory over the Chiefs. Obviously, the Chiefs have something worse to worry about. I will not mention it. The Bills with a 35-31 victory over the New England Patriots. The Jags getting a 48-20 victory over the New York Jets. And the Commanders getting a 29-21 victory over the Giants. So both New Jersey teams couldn't get it done today. The Chicago Bears getting a 31-3 victory over the Browns. Swift kick, nice kick, caught inside the 5 and brought down at the 13-yard line. Minnesota's going to have terrible field position to start out here. All right, continuing going. The Saints were able to come back and beat the Panthers. They were down 17-7. They win 20-17, and that'll set up a winner-take-all next week for the Panthers and the Buccaneers, both at the same record. The Rams were able to outlast the Lions 41-34. Seahawks getting it done with field goals 18-16, upsetting the Indianapolis the Colts. And of course, the Packers losing to the Broncos 34-26. And it's a run up the middle. And speaking of the Packers, former Green Bay Packer Kenny Clark knifing back in the backfield and bringing down his former Green Bay Packer teammate Aaron Jones for a big loss. So a couple Packers there, man. Kenny Clark and Aaron Jones involved in that one. Yeah, Jonesy losing about 2 or 3 yards on that one. And the final game, 49ers getting a 37-24 victory over the Tennessee Titans. 2nd and 13, McCarthy pressured, rolling off to his left, able to sidestep a tackler, and he finds TJ Hawkinson, who is going to be very close to a first down. He's basically right at the marker, and I think that's going to be a first down for the Vikings. Ooh. All right. 1st and 10, ball at the 24. JJ under center, single back in the backfield, handed off to Jones, and he is stacked up right at the line, man. This run defense by the Cowboys has completely changed over the last month, man. Once they paired Williams with Kenny Clark, man, completely changed the way that this defense is able to stop the run. They were the worst run defense for a long time, for a while. I think through the first 3 or 4 games, they were the worst team at stopping the run. And then slowly they started climbing up. But even after the trades, they were still, I think, 28th or 29th. They were still one of the worst. Since then, man, they're climbing towards the middle of the pack. All right, JJ in the shotgun. Quick throw gets it down to, I believe that is Addison picking up 8 or 9 yards. Clock continues to run. It is at 5:55. Let me see here. That'd be awesome if we had a tie. The Cowboys would have a 6-2 record. Very strange. Something out of like the 1940s in the NFL. A lot of ties back then before they had overtime. 3rd and 1, they run it with Jones, and he is stacked up for a loss of 1. 4th down coming up for Minnesota. Ooh, jeez. And that was Dante Fowler who was able to knife in there first. He did not get the tackle, but that forced basically that entire left side of the offensive line to just crash down, and that left two defenders to be able to bring down Jones in the backfield. Punt is away. It's going to be a great bounce, bouncing from the 22 all the way inside the 5-yard line. All right, the Cowboys are going to have to go a long way if they want to get a touchdown here. Let's freaking go, man. We got 8 people watching right now. Appreciate you. Heck yeah, man. Thank you so much. Please leave a like and subscribe if you have not. It helps out the channel, helps out the video. It's a great free way to support me on the channel, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, speaking of the Cowboys, man, their defense has looked a lot different, man. The Matt Eberflus defense actually looking competent, which is something I never thought I would say. Once again, their run defense is a little bit better. Still giving up a good chunk through the air, but that has also improved. And for their offense, man, sometimes they look a little stop and go, a little bit here and there, but nothing compared to what they were looking like in like a late November when they were. It was a rough couple games there, but ever since they played the Eagles, man, once they went down 21-0 a couple of weeks ago, that offense has just been clicking for most of the games since then. And hopefully the Cowboys can keep it going, man. Can keep it going, because it's always a little bit more interesting when the Cowboys are kind of in that zone where, are they going to make the playoffs? Are they not? Are they a bad team? Are they a decent team? It just makes it more exciting. So hopefully they can keep it going here against Minnesota. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any more updates on Christian Watson, because the Packers had like a handful of guys leave that game, unfortunately, that never came back. All right, we're back here. 1st and 10. Cowboys at their own 3-yard line. Handed off to Williams, and he is hit immediately. Luckily, able to get to the line of scrimmage. And that was actually Malik Davis, the backup there, who's had a couple decent runs over the last couple weeks. He had a long, I think, 45-yard touchdown a couple weeks ago. He's been a really good, solid back for them since being elevated from the practice squad. Quick throw, try to get it to Pickens, and that is going to be incomplete. Tight coverage by the Minnesota Vikings. I was trying to see, is that Rodgers in on the coverage? Nope, that was actually Murphy with a good coverage. All right, 3rd and 10, ball at the 3, Dak in the shotgun, running back to his right. He's got 2 receivers split out to the right. It's going to be a run up the middle, and the fullback, Lupke, picking up what looks like about 8 or 9 yards there, setting up a 4th and short. All right, Cowboys are going to punt this one away, or are they? They've already faked a field goal. Can they fake a punt? Ah, all right. It's just a regular punt. That's boring. And it'll be fair caught near the 47 here. So Minnesota are going to get the ball near midfield. We got 3:08 left in the first. So if you're just joining us or if you haven't gotten a chance to watch any of the previous games, two major injuries in the NFL. The first one, Patrick Mahomes. It looks like it has been confirmed that he tore his ACL, so he will be unfortunately done for the year. And then on top of that, Micah Parsons, his is yet to be confirmed, but it is believed, and this is coming from the Packers directly, that that is a torn ACL for Micah Parsons. So two massive names going to be gone for the rest of the year, man. And with this loss, the Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs, and the Packers dropped from the second seed in the NFC all the way down to the seventh seed. But on some good news, Phillip Rivers, man, the grandpa is able to throw a touchdown, man. One of the oldest quarterbacks in NFL history to to throw a touchdown in the NFL, and was literally just 3 points away, or even just a blocked field goal away from getting a win and being one of only 3 players at the age of 44 at the quarterback position to get a win in the NFL. So, there's a little bit of fun news there. Didn't get a win. It would have been nice to see Old Man Rivers get a big victory in his return, but apparently today the NFL said, nah, nobody gets anything good. Everybody's going to suffer. There's going to be blowouts, shutouts, injuries, and the only good story coming into this week that was slightly interesting, Phillip Rivers can't get a win. Cannot get a win. I mean, the Seahawks didn't even score a freaking touchdown in that game. Come on. Anyway, JJ in the shotgun, fakes the toss, throws it underneath. Nice little swing pass to Jones. He picks up a first across the 40 down to the 45. And Aaron Jones is going to pick up a big chunk there, a first down, and I think they're going to get Dallas for a horse collar tackle. Yeah, the NFL really pooped the storylines for today. Bad script. I know, right? What the? 2? Come on. Unbelievable. Script writers must have been going through some tough, man. All right. He's like, you know what? I want to see the whole world burn. He's like, if I'm suffering, I want everybody else to suffer. Yeah, luckily Jonesy not hurt on the play, so he was able to get up and do his regular celebration that you saw a lot in a Green Bay uniform. All right. Shaq Mason in for Jones here in the backfield. JJ in the shotgun. Play action. McCarthy rolling out to his left, throws to the left side, and he's got him! Touchdown! And I believe that is Jalen Naylor who is injured after the catch there. Landed straight up on his back. And not to make light of the injury here, but I do believe that his cheeks landed inbounds. So remember, one butt cheek equals 2 feet. So he's being tended to by it looks like the Cowboys athletic trainer. So that's good. One of the weirdest throwing motions I've ever seen. And see Strom. Oh, boom. I continue to be concerned about the defense. Yeah, the pass defense has not been great. Still not great. It's definitely improved at certain spots. They're getting turnovers now. But yeah, the pass defense is still very much poo poo. All right, so the good news is Naylor is up. He's kind of pointing up and like celebrating. He did get the ball there. I think that's one of his first touchdowns this season. He may have boinked the back of his head a little bit, maybe knocked some sense into him that he shouldn't be helping. Oh man, the good news is he's walking, so I think we can joke about it just a little bit. So, all right. So the touchdown did stand. I got to put that on the board. I don't know if it was subconsciously. I'm hesitant to put up any points for the Vikings. All right, Ricard. The extra point is right down the middle, and the Vikings have tied this bad boy up. We got 2:35 left in the first. All right, well, it's not going to be a shutout. That's some good news. But yeah, it was it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with the Seahawks, man, because their offense has looked rough the last couple of weeks, man. Like they're winning, that's what's kind of saving them. Their defense has been amazing for most of the season. Their special teams has been great, but that offense over the last, I would say, at least 5 or 6 games, man, like has just been so freaking inconsistent, man. They did shut out the Vikings a couple weeks ago, but I mean it's the Vikings. They're not like you don't know what you're gonna get. You're either gonna get a slightly competent team that is might still lose, or one of the worst offenses slash teams that you've ever seen in your entire life. So like shutting them out is not necessarily a massive, tip of the cap to them, but yeah, man, the Seahawks offense, they're going to need to be a lot more explosive and a lot more consistent if they want to get to the Super Bowl, if they want to win in the playoffs, because the Rams are going to blow them out. The 49ers could probably beat them. Depending on what the Packers look like after all these injuries, we'll see but they could win. Yeah, dude, it's just very, very strange. The Seahawks were, for the first like 7 to 8 weeks, man, they were one of the more consistent teams in the NFL. Even though they weren't winning every single week, they were consistent. They were putting up points. Their defense was making plays. Now that offense is hit or miss. So we'll see how they look leading up to the playoffs. All right, Ricard kicks this one away. It's going to be a little swift kick here, picked up inside the 5, returned across the 25 down to the 27. All right, Dak in under center here. Little play action. He's going to dump it underneath to Flournoy. He's got the first down. He's more and whoo, nice little spin move there to get it down to the 45. Big chunk play there. So Javonte Williams, the starting back for the Cowboys, he is questionable to return. Looks like they were checking his neck. Oh, actually, they're saying shoulder injury. Sorry. All right, 1st and 10, ball at the 46. Dak in the shotgun, looking, throws it down over the middle, and he finds CeeDee Lamb to the 30, to the 25, down to the 23. CeeDee Lamb with a big chunk, and they are in Minnesota territory. 1:35 left on the clock. Clock is running. Dak under center, a lot of motion, a little bit of a reverse, and CeeDee Lamb is going to lose about 4 yards there on the end around to the left. A lot of fakes, man. Faked one handoff, faked another, and then finally tossed it to Lamb, who was going to that left side. Did not work out. Kevin O'Connell is not happy with something. Might be the spotting of the ball. Yeah, because he is all up in that referee's ear. And the referee hit him with a, "You're already eliminated from the playoffs. I do not need to listen to you, sir." All right. And there was a penalty on the Vikings, so it'll actually be 1st and 10 inside the 20-yard line, and it's going to be a decent run for the Cowboys. All right. Pick up a 5, so 2nd and 5, ball at the 12 here. Prescott under center, single back in the backfield. CeeDee Lamb alone to the right side. Hands it off to Davis, and he barrels through, getting it down near the 1. 1st and goal for the Cowboys. And they are knocking on the door here, man. All right. We head to the second quarter. That is with the Cowboys literally a yard away from punching it in and retaking the lead here on Sunday Night Football. And the one thing for Minnesota, man, is their offense it's not even that. It's JJ McCarthy is like the issue. Like, don't get me wrong, he's not helping by any means. He's definitely been a driver of some of the worst performances that they've had this season. But I mean, you saw what happened when they had the backup in, and granted, it's like when you have a backup, it's not necessarily supposed to improve the offense, but we've seen it where it can be fairly efficient. Usually, the issues are a little bit different, but the same issues that were plaguing JJ McCarthy were plaguing their backups. Even when Carson Wentz was the quarterback, there's a couple games, maybe one game actually, where Carson Wentz looked like a legitimate answer for the Vikings this season, and then it just fell apart. And it's just like the offensive line that was retooled and they spent a lot of money on has not worked. The running game has stalled out with Mason and Jones. It's just it has not been enough to be able to band-aid or to be able to kind of overlook some of the more glaring issues that they've had. Their defense has been fine. Their especially their pass defense has been really, really freaking good. But yeah, man. And the other biggest issue on that offense for the Vikings has been the turnovers. They are one of the, I think they're the worst offense at keeping the ball safe. And that's the other thing too, man. Like, it's one thing you have a really good defense. It's really tough to be able to play good defense when you're consistently getting the ball in your own territory. Dak throws it up and trying to get it to CeeDee Lamb, throws it out of bounds. 2nd and goal coming up from the 1. Second and goal. Hands it off to Davis, and he punches it in. That is the 2nd touchdown run for the Dallas Cowboys tonight. 1 for Javonte, and now Malik Davis getting it in. And Aubrey's kick is good. The Cowboys reestablish a 7-point lead here early in the 2nd quarter. All right, what do you guys think here with Minnesota? Are they going to be able to punch it in again, keep this game close? Because I'm looking for a shootout here, man. I want some entertainment. I don't really. There's no bearing on the Packers really, unless the Packers lose the rest of their remaining games and the Cowboys win the remaining games. This won't have an effect on them. So I'm just kind of looking for an entertaining game, man. After the sadness that we experienced last game. And great coverage again by the Cowboys. That is the tight end Span Ford. He had a great play in coverage, in special teams coverage last week as well, man. So now he is, I mean, he's killing it. David, I'm looking for a pick six. Of course. Of course. Heck yeah. I mean, that would be an exciting game right there, man. Pick sixes just left and right. All right, 1st and 10, ball to 25, fullback, running back in the backfield. JJ hands it off to Mason, who stumbles for a gain of about 7. Literally could have had more, but kind of just, when your head is a little, when you're like, you see your toddler, or like, have you ever seen a toddler whose head is a little bit too big? Kind of, the weight kind of took him a little bit. Yeah, that's what basically happened with Mason there. All right, 2nd and 3, ball at the 32. JJ, another handoff. This one, ooh, oh man, Mason nearly breaking this one. I think he only picked up 2. This time he was tripped up by the defense, but man, dude, that would have been a massive, massive run. Had a lot of momentum. And the run is going to be good for a 1st down. Let's go. Yeah, I like what they're doing with Mason here, man. They're trying to give Jones a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather. McCarthy throws it down the field, and he tries to get it to his number 1 target there, Jefferson, but the coverage was borderline perfect. And that was a Deron Bland, man. Surprised they did not get him for pass interference. Because he never turned around for that ball, man. And he had his hands all over Jefferson. It's going to be another run. Mason, tough yards, picks up about 3 there. So that'll be 3rd down coming up. All right, 3rd and 8. McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his right. Pressure by the Cowboys. He's throwing it deep down the field. He's got a man to the 20, to the 10, to the 5, and down inside the 5. Wow. And that is Jordan Addison busting loose and getting it down, I think, near the 4, maybe the 3 there. Yeah, he caught Carson flat-footed on that one. Nice little fake, and then just taking it right up the field, dude. All right, 1st and goal, ball at the 4. Dude, are we actually going to see a shootout between the Dallas Cowboys and the Minnesota Vikings here? And Kevin O'Connell not happy with his offense there. He calls a timeout here with the 11:17 left in the 2nd. That's Minnesota's 1st. going to be a handoff to Mason, and he fights for a yard, getting it down near the 2. All right, 5 receivers set. McCarthy in the shotgun, 3 receivers on that right side. Cowboys send pressure over the middle, and it's a touchdown. Justin Jefferson able to tap the toes, and we got a flag. And based on his reaction, it's going to be on the Vikings. Illegal formation. And a frustrating season for Justin Jefferson just keeps piling on just a little bit. All right, McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his right. Receiver in motion to the right side, and whoop. Play is blown dead. Looks like we might have a timeout here. Is it Dallas or what's going on here? Yep. Cowboys burning a timeout here early in the second quarter. All right, McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his left. 3 receivers on that right side. Throws to the left side, and that is going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Jefferson in a back shoulder throw. Not on the same page. I'm trying to see here that. Yeah, that wasn't close. I was trying to say maybe that wasn't a bad throw, but it was a bad throw. 3rd and goal, ball at the 7. JJ running up the middle. He's going to get the fur. Oh, actually, no, I forgot. I thought he was going to get into the end zone, man. And he comes up about a yard or 2 short. I thought it was going to be his first major play in this game, man. Kept the knees up, though. Kept the knees up, and I think he's going to be down at the 1. Ended up landing on his head. All right. 4th and goal from the half-yard line. JJ keeping it himself, and he's literally just going to waltz in. Oh, doing the gritty on his way to the end zone. All right, getting a little swagger. Literally started doing the gritty at the 4-yard line. And Ricard's kick is good, and this game is all tied up here with 9:28 left in the second quarter, man. I got to give it to McCarthy, man. That was a great freaking fake. Nobody went with him. I think he could have scored that on his knees. I think he could have literally stopped, got to the 5, and just probably scored. See, Strom, I am increasingly worried about Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. And to be fair, the pass defense has been the issue. That was the issue because they were able to get that long pass to Addison inside the 5. Run defense has been fine. Pass defense is still garbage for the Dallas Cowboys. And I try to use, and I'm using garbage as not trying to be mean. I'm just being honest. It's not very good. And I'll bring up the stats here in the next commercial break so we can get a better understanding of what these offenses and defenses are looking like coming into this game. It is it's going to be some ugly numbers, I'll tell you that much. It's not going to be a lot of single digits rankings for either of these teams. There'll be some, but not many. Let me see here. These two plays, not great. Those two plays, yeah, no. Not good. Not good. Seastrom, at least your quarterback has 2 functional knees. Once again, David, condolences to you, man. Condolences. For all the good it's doing our team, we still might end up with a worse record. It's certainly possible. Maybe. Yeah, as a Packer fan, trust me, we suffered through like a full decade of just horrendous defense, like historically, like they were the worst pass defense in history. They were one of the worst run defenses in history. Those were completely separate years, but Tom Capers and Mike Pettin did not give us a lot of great years defensively for a while. And Turpin with a great return for the Cowboys, as he usually does. Gets into the face of a Minnesota player. So it seems like these guys are getting a little pumped up here. Game's a little close, a little too close for comfort for some teams. And we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. Let's keep it going, man. I'm looking for a great offense. I don't care about defense right now. I just want points. Give me some points. Give me some chaos. All right, Dak under center, hands it off to Malik, and he is going to be wrapped up for maybe a loss of 1. Yeah, give me points and turnovers in this game. That's all I care about. Throws and trying to get it to CeeDee Lamb, and great freaking coverage by the Vikings, man. We might not win another game this season. I'm pretty sure your backup quarterback can still beat the Raiders. I think y'all still play them. Maybe I'm overreacting, but this hasn't been a good year for us. That's fair. I mean, it was good up until last week. It was looking like the Cowboys were one of the hottest teams in the NFL, and then it just kind of just fell apart a little bit, just a little bit. Gets it out to Ferguson, and he is good for about 8 or 9 yards. And weirdly enough, they're going to mark him off at the 50, so 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 coming up. All right, Prescott in the shotgun, single receiver to the right side. 4th and 3, they're going for it. Over the middle, and he finds, I believe that is CeeDee Lamb, getting it down to the 32. And a big chunk there, nearly 20 yards on the play. Though same could be said for the Chiefs. No offense. All right, run up the middle. Davis with some tough yardage, getting it down to the 28. Picks up about 4 or 5 there on the play. Second and 5. Dak under center, single back in the backfield, single receiver on that left side. Pressured by Minnesota, and that play is going to be incomplete there. So 3rd and 5. Sorry, the pass will be incomplete. The play happened. Just wasn't good for the Cowboys. All right. Prescott in the shotgun, running back to his right. He's got looks like 2 receivers on that right side, and we got another timeout here. Cowboys using them early today. Stopping the clock at 6:41. Got 3rd and 5. Prescott in the shotgun, running back to his right. Single receiver on that right side. Minnesota sends 4. Prescott able to get out of a sack. He's going to take off and run, but still is brought down for a loss of about 5 on that one. Just relentless pass rush on that one. Dude, I'm surprised Dak was able to get up from that, dude. He got sandwiched between 2 defenders. Yeah, Jonathan Grenard was able to get the initial pressure, and then he was able to combine with number 97, Hargrave, for the sack. All right, Cowboys going to send out Aubrey for the kick here, and no, it's wide freaking right. 51 yards, and it had the distance, just not the accuracy, man. Okay, I was not expecting that. All right. Oof. 100%. 100%. All right. I'm going to block my big head for a little bit here to give you guys some stats. So, coming into this game, the Minnesota Vikings are one of the worst teams at throwing the ball. They are putting up 192 yards offensively. Bam, right here. 30th in the NFL. They're only putting up 104 on the ground, 24th. They have turned the ball over 26 times, including 19 interceptions. Actually, it'll be 20 with the interception that JJ just threw in this game. So they are dead last, 32nd in the NFL in terms of protecting the ball. 25 touchdowns on offense, 16 through the air, 25th in the NFL, and they are scoring on 33.3% of their offensive drives. So not great. So basically, uh, 2 out of every 3 drives ends with 0 points. Seastrom, you'll get it next time, Aubrey. Absolutely, man. Aubrey's still one of the best kickers, man. That's not. David, 30-second. Have a laugh. Have a laugh. All right. Then over here with the Cowboys, they are the best offense at throwing the ball. Literally over 100 yards more than the Minnesota Vikings. 276. Putting up 120 on the ground. That number has gone down over the last I would say the back half of the season. They were one of the top 10, top 5 teams through the first 6 or 7 weeks, but teams have been able to really slow down Javante a lot more. And then finally, the final 3 here, they are turning the ball over 18 times, 27th in the NFL. So kind of right there with the Minnesota Vikings. They've been able to offset that with being one of the best at putting up touchdowns offensively, one of the best scoring offensive teams in the NFL, 5th. And then finally, they have been ending nearly 49%, nearly 50% of their drives with some type of points, and that is good for 2nd in the NFL. So, yeah, yep. So definitely a little bit of contrast. The Cowboys are a little bit better. Still need to work on their running game as well as slowing down some of those turnovers, but they're pretty dang good at everything else. It's going to be a short throw to Jones, but he's able to pick up some decent yardage after the catch. Picks up about 6 or 7 there along the right sideline. Right now, I know they're comparing JJ and Josh Allen to their early careers because of the mechanics. And while that is true, the difference is Josh could chuck it like 80 yards. It's a big, big difference. It's going to be a toss to the right. Jones picking up a big chunk there, getting it across the 40, and a first down for the former Green Bay Packer. And also the Texas native as well. Has a lot of family in Texas still. All right, we got 4:35 left in the first half. Clock is running. 1st and 10. McCarthy looking, dumps it underneath to Jones, and he is good for about 5 yards. Second and 5, and he finds Jefferson over the middle down to the 21. Great freaking slant route there by Jefferson. Great throw by McCarthy. Had some freaking velocity to that one. All right, McCarthy under center, single back in the backfield, hands it off to Jonesy, and he stumbles his way across the 15 down to the 16, and we got a couple flags. There's one early, and then there was one very late. I think both teams picked up a couple flags there, so probably offsetting penalties. It looks like Jefferson and Carlson kind of getting at it, kind of some shoving, but then Carlson takes it too far by getting his hands all up in the face mask of Jefferson. So actually, the Cowboys are the only ones that are penalized there. So it was first and goal, but then the referees are trying to tell the sideline equipment people to put the first down marker at the right spot, and they did not. So they're going to have to reset this play just a little bit. All right. First and 10, ball at the 11, and Jones, unable to get anything on that one. Looks like he's going to lose about half a yard. Once again, meeting some of the big guys that they have over there in Dallas right up the middle. All right. We have reached the 2-minute warning here in Arlington, Texas, man. Game is tied up, but the Vikings are inside the 15 with a chance to take the lead for the first time tonight. kind of want to see the stats for the Lions and the Rams game, dude. That was a wild freaking finish. So Goff, 25 of 41, 338 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Jameer Gibbs, 13 for 38, just under 3 yards, and then David Montgomery, 7 for 32 and a touchdown. Amon Ra, dude, 13 catches, 164 yards, 2 touchdowns, 18 targets in total. And then Jamison Williams, 7 catches, 134 and a touchdown, and he did it in half as many targets as St. Brown, which is not surprising. Like, Jamison is the home run hitter for that offense, outside of Jameer Gibbs, obviously. Aiden Hutchinson had a sack, and he also had a. Did he have the pick six? Let's see here. No, it looks like it was just an interception. Damn, that's it. That's still impressive for a big man to be able to get up there and make a play on it. And then Stafford, 24 of 38, 368, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kyron Williams, 15 for 78. Blake Corum, 11 for 71. Williams got 2 touchdowns. Blake Corum got 1. Puka Nacua, 9 for 181 yards. Kobe Parkinson, 5 for 75 and 2 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, 4 for 71. But he also injured his hamstring and did not return to the game. So, ooh. All right, 2nd and 10. McCarthy in the shotgun. Throws it, lofts one up to the right, and that's going to be incomplete. Trying to get it to Jefferson there. 3rd and 10 coming up. All right. McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his right. 3 receivers on that left side. Looking, throws to the right side, trying to get it to TJ Hawkinson, and that'll be incomplete. To me, that timing was off on that one. I feel like McCarthy should have gotten that ball out a little bit sooner. Because he was late, I felt like he had to rush it, and then the accuracy went way down on that one. All right, Ricard trying to give the Vikings their first lead of the night, and the kick is good. All right, with 148 left, Minnesota on top, 17-14 over the Cowboys. All right, let's look at the Indianapolis Colts here, man. Phillip Rivers in his first game back in nearly 5 years, man. He went 18 for 27, a buck 29, sorry, a buck 20 through the air, one touchdown, one interception. Jonathan Taylor, 25 for 87, held in check for the most part. 3.5 yards is a low. So it's actually a bad day for Jonathan Taylor. His longest run went for 11 yards. Amir Abdullah was the leading receiver for the Colts there. That's not a good sign because Amir Abdullah is a running back. 5 catches, 32 yards. Michael Pittman, 3 for 26, and Tyler Warren, 3 for 19. Thankfully, I did not start Tyler Warren this week. And for the Seahawks, Sam Darnold, 22, 36, 271, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Zach Charbonnet was the leading rusher, 8 carries, 31 yards, averaged just under 4 yards per carry. Kenneth Walker, 9 for 17, and Jackson Smith and Jigba had nearly 50% of the passing yards or receiving yards for the Seahawks. 7 catches, 113, and Rashid Shaheed, one of the newer acquisitions for the Seahawks. They got him from the Saints. He caught 5 passes for 74 yards. Cooper Kupp 5 for 64. So yeah, not really an explosive day for any of these offenses. And the kick goes out of bounds here, so not a great kick by Ricard, who has had a little bit of an issue with those. I think that's going to be his 3rd or 4th kick that goes out of bounds this season. All right, so that's going to give Dallas an even better chance to get points before the half. Ball at the 40. 1st and 10. Prescott in the shotgun, single receiver to the right side. Dak runs himself into pressure, and he gets hit as he throws. Yeah, zero reason for Dak to kind of drift to the left, man. His offensive line did a great job on the right side, being able to wall those guys off. Dak looks, throws, and he finds Ferguson very close to a first down, gain of 9. Cowboys hurry to the line, take the snap, hand it off to the big fullback. He gets it down to the 46 of Minnesota. 1st and 10 coming up. Oh, we got one of the Smiths down for the Cowboys. They got 3 offensive linemen that are named Smith. So, I'm going to try to see who this is. That is the starting left guard, Tyler Smith. All right, so while we got a little bit of time, let's look at the defensive stats now that we've looked at the offense. And if you thought the offensive numbers were funny, check this out. So, defensively for the Vikings, we're starting up here, they are actually giving up the same amount of passing yards that their offense puts up. The only difference is it's good to be under 175 for the defense. They are fourth in the NFL, so one of the better defensive teams against the pass. But against the run, not so much. 127 on the ground, only 14 turnovers, 20th in the NFL. They have only given up 25 touchdowns coming into this game, good for eighth. And then a new statistic that I'm introducing here that I'll use every once in a while. So DAT, or DA dot, as you like to call it, that is the average depth per target. So how many times, basically how far is the ball traveling in passing downs. And for this Minnesota defense, they are the best at holding teams to basically short throws down the field with an average of just 6.7. Once again, that is number one in the NFL. That means that teams are not only are they not throwing the ball down the field, they don't see a reason to. In a bad way. Like they're not saying, hey, we're just gonna dink and dunk. They're just saying there is nothing down the field. We cannot find anything favorable. So great coverage by the Minnesota secondary. That obviously correlates well with the amount of yards that they're giving up. So we'll finish up Dallas's side here once we get another break. So 1st and 10, ball at the 46 of Minnesota. The Vikings showing a lot of pressure. It's going to be a run up the middle, and the fullback picks up about 3 or 4 yards, just grinding away here. So Dallas did need to use their final timeout on that injury. Gets it out to the fullback in the passing game, and he is down to the 31. So Lupke he's been the number one option in this entire drive, man. I don't know if anybody else has actually gotten a pass or a run. There we go. George Pickens picks up a good chunk, 8 or 9 yards there down the left sideline. Dedicated and diabolical on touchdowns. Absolutely and always. All right, 35 seconds left. Clock is stopped. Ball at the 22. Dak in the shotgun, running back to his left. 3 receivers on that right side. Dumps it underneath to the fullback, and he's going to try to get it out of bounds. No, he stays in bounds, actually. Down to the 20. Clock is running. 24, 23, 22, 21. Dallas is not going to clock the ball here. Takes the snap. Pressure over the middle, throws it up, and incomplete. 11 seconds left. Could have easily spiked the ball, probably saved at least 8 seconds, but instead they just try to run a play. Nobody blocked over the middle. How do you allow a free runner into the... Come on. All right. 3rd and 7. Ball at the 19, and Minnesota's going to use a timeout. Yeah, there's a good chance that Dallas does finish above 800. They play the Chargers, who are not an explosive offense, and then they play the Giants. Then Washington, and then the Giants. So 8-7-1 to potentially 9-6-1 is a possibility. Trying to throw it to CeeDee Lamb, not liking what he saw, so Dak just throws this one away. 4th down coming up. All right, Aubrey in to attempt his second kick. He missed from 51. This one from 37 is right down the middle. Probably would have been good from 51. All right, man. We got probably about 3 to 4 seconds left. Game is tied up. We'll see if Minnesota can they get a wild return. That would be something I'm looking forward to. Can they score on the kickoff? Just to change things up. Just to change things up a little bit. Be right back. Okay, you got to do the chores. 100%. 100%. So does BBIAF mean be back in about 5 minutes? All right, 3 seconds left here. Aubrey kicks the field goal. All is right in the world. Finally, I can see clearly now. And Minnesota's going to return it to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, and he is stopped up at the 22, 21. Either way, it's halftime. Let's go. Dahlia might have been right. We might be heading to overtime with these freaking teams. They don't seem to want to leave each other alone. There's like no separation. Every time there's a little bit of separation, they get lonely and they decide to just be together again. Of course, they're showing all the fun highlights, all the injuries. Come on, NFL, Jesus. Be back in a few. Gotcha. Be back in a few. Seastrom, right there, man. That's why you're my backup, man. You're my backup. You're my backup brain because this thing doesn't work sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, I got most of it right. Be back in about 5 minutes, or be back in 5. Yeah. Anyway, halftime for these teams. So neither of these teams are really running the ball very well, or don't really seem to be dedicated to the run. I know they were kind of trying to get the ball down the field the last couple minutes, but regardless, man, they have not been able to run the ball super well. So I'm expecting at least Minnesota to commit to the run. I feel like they've been a little bit more successful in their attempts. Seastrom, overtime sounds awesome, but I have work in the morning. Dahlia, I canned this game. Why couldn't I call the game before this one? I know. Yeah, that was a rough game, man. As a Packer fan, that was once again, the loss was not the worst part. It was the injuries. I literally would have had no problem if the Packers would have lost. It would have sucked, sure, but I would have been like, Broncos are a good team, good defense, solid offense. As long as the Packers kept it close, I would have been okay with it. But man, dude, losing Micah for the year, worst case scenario. Like the only other injury that could have been more debilitating to this team would have been probably Jordan Love. And I only say probably because I think Malik Willis would have kept the Packers afloat. Whether he would have won in the playoffs, I have no idea. But he would have kept them probably still in the playoff hunt and probably would have secured a win at some point to get the Packers to the playoffs. But man, dude, literally Micah, probably the second most important player on the Packers roster right now, and he is likely going to be done for the year. So All right, let's finish talking about the Cowboys' defensive stats here. We talked about Minnesota. It was not super impressive for the most part, outside of the pass and the few touchdowns that they have given up. But starting at the top here for the Cowboys, they are the worst, worst defense at stopping the pass. As we can see, they're making J.J. McCarthy look like Joe Namath out here. So they are dead last in the NFL. So another team that is 32nd in something in this game. Their run defense not significantly better, giving up 124, just just ahead of the Minnesota Vikings. They are 20th. Turnovers somehow even worse than the Minnesota Vikings. Only 10 turnovers this defense has caused, 27th in the NFL. They have given up 46 touchdowns on defense, and that number has not gone down. They have given up 2 in this game alone. So, second to last coming into this game. And finally, average depth per target. So, how far are they challenging these corners? And right now, the Cowboys averaging just under 8. I know it says 8%. It's actually supposed to be 8 yards. So sorry about that. That's on me for not correcting that. Same thing over here. 6.7 yards, not percentage. So the Cowboys are basically in the middle of the field there. Not the worst, not the best. So pretty solid. So yeah, once again, in the future, that will be corrected. So that should be yardage, not percentage. So sorry about that, guys. But yeah, so kind of gives you a better idea of why this game is the way it is. Minnesota can't cause any turnovers. They can't stop the run, even though they have today. And then the Minnesota Vikings have been great against the pass. That's why really CeeDee Lamb seems to be the only guy that's catching anything down the field. And on top of that, the Cowboys' defense is one of the worst at stopping the pass, which is why J.J. McCarthy is on pace to probably have a record game. He has 142 yards so far on just 8 completions. Yeah, it's actually better than Dak right now. All right. So combined, Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones have 11 carries for 30 yards. Tack on another 8 for J.J. McCarthy. So you got almost 40 yards. Pretty good. Pretty good. And weirdly enough, the Cowboys are actually a better rushing team. Even though they've had 3 different players kind of taking the rock for the majority of the time. Javonte Williams, 6 for 13 and a touchdown before leaving this game with a shoulder injury. Malik Davis, 6 for 17 and a touchdown. He's the leading rusher. Hunter Lupke with 3 for 16. He's been the most efficient runner for this team. And Brandon Aubrey and Dak Prescott have tacked on an extra 8 yards on 2 runs for themselves as well. So the Cowboys with 54 yards compared to the Vikings 38. And when it comes to passing yards, 115 for the Cowboys. That has been reduced with a couple sacks. And then J.J. McCarthy, 142. So, yeah, right now Minnesota on pace for 360 yards of total offense. And the Cowboys just a little bit further down, just a little bit, basically on pace to do the same almost. Minnesota averaging nearly 7 yards per play, while the Cowboys are just under 5. Third down efficiency, not much efficiency to go around. The Vikings are 2 for 5, while the Cowboys are even worse at 1 for 7. But they have gone 3 for 3 on third down, so kind of balances out a little bit. There's only a 7-second difference in terms of time of possession. And penalties are relatively the same. 3 for Minnesota for 17 yards and 2 for the Cowboys for 25 yards. So, yeah, basically right down the middle, these teams are the exact same almost when you kind of just squint at the numbers. Seastrom, holy cow. Bears must have a good weekend. Solid odds. Everyone else in the division loses, and still a good weekend if the Vikings win. They're pretty much out of it anyway. Yeah, I don't think the Vikings even. I thought they got eliminated from the playoffs. Let me double check here. I guess if the Lions aren't. Hold on. The Minnesota Vikings playoff chances are officially over as of December 14th. After the Chicago Bears win, it eliminated their slim chances despite needing a win. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so no matter what happens tonight, the Vikings are eliminated because of Chicago's victory. Okay. Yeah, so before the game started today, the Vikings needed to win all of their games. They needed the Bears to lose all of their games. And on top of that, they needed the Lions to lose at least 2 games. And they needed the Carolina Panthers or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to finish 9-8 at some point. So, yeah. I'm checking out Dallas's road to the playoffs here. So Dallas needs to win their remaining games: Minnesota, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. Winning out gives them a strong chance to catch the Eagles, especially if Philly loses more games. Even if they don't win the division, winning out gives them a strong wild card chance. But they need help from teams like the Bears, Seahawks, and others in the mix. Well, they didn't get that help today. Seahawks and Bears both won. Yeah, so if they win out the rest of their games and they get a little bit of help from either the Eagles or one or two of the wild card teams, then they have a chance to then they are guaranteed basically a spot in the playoffs. But that's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. And Seastrom, wait, Bills came back from 21 behind. Yes, they did, sir. They ended up outscoring the Patriots 35-10 the rest of the way. Yeah, and I think at one point the Patriots were leading 24-7, so in the second half it even looked worse. They got outscored 28-7 in the second half alone. So it looks like the third quarter is about to get underway here. Let's freaking go, baby. Come on. Mm-mm. All right, baby. Let's go, man. We got 5 people watching right now, man. Right now we're at 3 likes. Let's see if we can get to 5, man. Can we get to 5 likes on the video? That'd be awesome. Helps out the channel, helps out the video. So, thank you, thank you. All right, so the Cowboys do get the ball to start the second half here. Vikings they got the ball to start the first quarter here. Second play, J.J. McCarthy throws a pick. Cowboys able to take advantage of it. Now we'll see if the Cowboys are able to get something going here, man. They need to be able to win this game. If they lose, their playoff hopes are basically gone. I don't think they're officially eliminated, but they'll be very close. Turpin with a great run. He's down the sidelines and gets it out near the 40. Dude, just one of the most electric freaking returners in the NFL, man. He doesn't go all the way to the end zone very much. Might do it once a year, man, but he is just a consistent threat to get his offense the ball somewhere around the 40. All right, 1st and 10. Handoff. Woo! And is that Javonte? Who is that, man? Either way, it was a massive run. Picks up a big chunk. And that is Javonte Williams, man, the former Bronco back, man. I didn't think he was going to return. After the first drive, we didn't see him again. Look at that, man. Great job by the guard. Able to kind of just shift everybody to the right side. Picked up about 15 yards on the run. All right, 1st and 10. Prescott under center, ball at the 43. Another run by Williams. Cuts it back to the right side. Spin move and gets it down near the 40. So bad news for the Cowboys. Their great fullback, Lupke, he is going to be out for the rest of this game with a concussion. Unfortunately, he got hurt on that final return with like 3 seconds left before the half. He was in on the tackle, got hit in the head, and that's what took him out, man. Prescott pressured, gets it out to Ferguson, one-handed to the 30, to the 25, 20, 15, stays on his feet, spin moves, and gets it down to the 11, and that's actually Schoonemaker, the Michigan man, not Ferguson. Still a Big Ten tight end, but different schools. Ferguson, the Badger, and Schoonemaker, the Michigan Wolverine, who I'm pretty sure played with J.J. McCarthy over there in Ann Arbor. Just a one-handed grab, man. That was impressive. 1st and 10, ball at the 11. Prescott in the shotgun, running back to his right. Single receiver on that right side. That's George Pickens. Looks, throws, getting it out to Lamb, but that's going to be incomplete. And it looks like CD just kind of tripped on the play. Some smiles by Rodgers and Lamb. Those two are going to be going off for some big matchups throughout this second half. Rodgers one of the best at getting a turnover. I think he has like 3 or 4 interceptions in this season. And of course, CeeDee Lamb probably the number 1 option for the Cowboys offensively. Handoff, and Malik Davis picks up about 2, getting it down to the 9. 3rd and 8 coming up. Let's freaking go. Hey, man, 4 likes. Let's go. Let's go. We got 6 people watching. If we can get to 5, man. If we can get to 5 likes, man, that'd be awesome. Also, thank you guys for watching, man. Sunday night. Appreciate you. 3rd and 8. 5 receivers set. 2 spread out to the right. Dak takes the snap. Pressure immediately, and he gets it out to Turpin. Only picks up about 2 on the play. Minnesota just sending the house on that one. First off, that was a horrendous freaking job by the left side of that offensive line. Nobody blocked anybody. From the center to the right was perfect. Everything else to the left was dog poo poo. And Aubrey now 2 for 2 since that miss in the second quarter. It gives Dallas their lead back here, man. Let's go. We got 11-14 left in the third. And JJ, number 9, coming back to see if he can give the Vikings the lead again. He's been pretty efficient tonight. David Stegosaurus is back, baby. Let's go. How were the chores, my man? How were the chores? Most of the dishes done and recycling out. Trash will have to wait till after the game, I guess. It's fair. It's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I gotta take out the trash too, man. I was like, if I can get everything done before the game starts and I can throw out the trash, great. Did not happen. Then of course the Packers and Broncos game goes like 25 minutes, 30 minutes over. And I was like, well, the trash is gonna have to wait until after all these games. So oh, they're showing some barbecue. No. Why? Oh, that looks delicious. Sorry for any vegetarians out there, man. Oh, that looks good. There's not really a good barbecue joint around my area, man. There's like a fast food, kind of like a fast food chain nearby, but I don't know. I try to go to as many local places as I possibly can, like mom and pop shops. All right, Aubrey sends this one. It's going to be caught inside the 10 to the 30 to the 35 and down near the 42. A great return from Minnesota, man. They've been getting some really good returns here by I believe that is Miles Price. He's been pretty good, man. I think this is like the second or third time they've gotten the ball around the 35 or further down the field. KC barbecue is better. Suck it, Texas. Ooh, I have heard that though, man. I've heard the Kansas City barbecue is borderline legendary. And if I ever go to Kansas City, man, I'm gonna like give me a recommendation. If I ever do go to Kansas City, give me 1 or 2 recommendations. All right, 1st and 10. Run up the middle, and Jonesy only picks up a yard on the play. We got 2nd and 9. JJ. Play action. Takes a hit as he throws, and that is going to be incomplete. I think JJ is lucky that he didn't get blasted through, man. Yeah, Dante Fowler could have easily probably just drilled him, but probably would have picked up a roughing call, but all right, we got 3rd and 9 here. McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his right. Pressure, and unable to hit an open receiver just slightly down the field. That was Jalen Naylor. Yeah, if Naylor is able to pick Naylor, it doesn't matter. If he's able to pick up, if he's able to break up a tackle there, probably picks up the first down. So that's what I get for making a dumb joke. I stumble over my own words. All right, so Minnesota going to have to punt this one away, man. Not looking great. A quick 3-and-out. And it'll bounce out, I think, somewhere around the 10. David, Jack Stack, KC Joes, and Q39 are all good choices without ridiculous prices. Things like pulled pork, they will do. They all do well. They each do some things better. Okay, all right. So what's David? What's your go-to sides, my man? Give me 2 or 3 sides. And I will be taking a screenshot of these recommendations if you don't mind. Hold up. Chris Lasso, make that 2 screenshots. Heck yeah, baby. You gotta go with the strong recommendations, my man. Heck yeah. Anything with food, if it's recommended to me, I am gonna try it as long as it's like, within reach. If somebody's like, "Oh yeah, this place in Thailand," I'm like, "I'm gonna stop you right there, big dog. I appreciate it. You can tell me. I'll try to remember it, but odds are I'm not gonna be making it to Thailand anytime soon. But somewhere in the continental United States, good chance. Good chance. David, I like cheesy corn bake and hickory pit beans at Jack Stack. Ooh. All right, well, you know what? We're going to be taking a couple screenshots. Another screenshot here. Oh, man, dude, all this food talk is going to make me hungry. Mm. All right, 1st and 10 for the Cowboys here at their own 10. Dak throws it deep to the right. He's got CeeDee Lamb down to the 40, 30 yards through the air. And CeeDee Lamb is just, woo, just explosive tonight, man. Seems like he's been one of the few receivers in the NFL that has been able to really take advantage of this Minnesota secondary. All right, 1st and 10, just past the 40 here. Dak under center, single back in the backfield, 2 receivers on that left side. Fakes the handoff, sets it up for Flournoy. He is wrapped up, but not after picking up about 2 or 3 there. Basically, it was like a little makeshift swing pass there to the left side. Actually, they ran that play earlier in the day that picked up a little bit more yards on the first try than they did the second one. 2nd and 7. Delayed handoff. This one, Williams gets it across the 50, stays on his feet to the 45, to the 40, and slammed down near the 36. Javonte Williams keeping the legs churning. Woo! I like that. Yeah, pulled the tight end, went right in between the left guard and the center. And once again, once he was about to be wrapped up, he kind of spun around, kept the legs turning backwards. Great sense of direction. 1st and 10, ball at the 36 of Minnesota. Sets up a screen. Turpin with the speed. He gets to the edge and picks up about 6 or 7 yards there down near the 30. All right. 2nd and 1. Handoff. And this one, I believe, is going to be Malik Davis. He might have picked up the first here. And right now, they're marking it a gain of 2 and a first down. All right, we got 7:05 left in the third. The clock is running. All right, Prescott in the shotgun, 5 receiver set, 3 to the right. Williams running out a swing pass there on the right side and trying to set up a screen to Lamb, and that's going to be incomplete. Yeah, they've been really trying to hammer CD's targets, man. Like, George Pickens might have 2 or 3 targets in this game. Maybe 4, I don't know, but it is nowhere near the volume of CD Lamb. All right, Dak in the shotgun, running back to his right. Orbit motion by Turpin. He gets the end around, breaks the tackle, gets a few blockers, but his offensive lineman turned around to look at him instead of trying to block down the field, man. Come on. That was Dallas Turner doing a great job of being able to kind of force Turpin to kind of bounce it out there. Also made the tackle there. All right, 3rd and 8, ball at the 23. Dak in the shotgun, running back to his right. 3 receivers bunched up to the left. And we got a flag. False start. And that's going to be on the backup left tackle, Nathan Thomas, coming in for, I believe, the injured, let me see here, Smith, I think, is going to be the one out. But anyway, 3rd and 13 now, ball back at the 28. Dak looking, throws it underneath, gets it out to Davis, and he is going to come up about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first. All right, if you're the Cowboys, do you go for it here, go up by 6, basically a touchdown, or do you risk the biscuit? All right, 4th and 3. Dak motioning into the shotgun, running back to his left. They're not snapping this ball. No. Nope. And the Cowboys are going to take a delay of game penalty, and they're just going to send out Aubrey for the kick. All right, Aubrey 2 for 3 here. Can he make it 3 in a row? Come on. This one from 41. And the kick is right down the middle, man. Perfect. Cowboys with a 6-point lead here. Late in the third quarter, 4:50 left. All right. I'm going to use the bathroom one last time, and I'll be back. I'll be back. Guess who's back? Back again. Dave is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Oh, have you guys been paying attention to the Winter Olympics, man? Lindsey Vonn is freaking having herself a freaking Olympics. Sorry, couldn't think of a. I was gonna say, oh, she's having herself a game. I was like, no, she's a lot of competitions. So, anyway, Miles Price this time not able to get anywhere near the 40 here. So great coverage by the Cowboys. But my point is, Lindsey Vonn kicking ass right now. All right, we got 4:44 left in the third quarter. JJ starting out in the shotgun. Aaron Jones splits out wide to the right, running back to JJ's left. Looks, throws over the middle, and he's got TJ Hawkinson down near the 44 of Dallas, man. That was a bullet down the middle of the field. Ooh, man, that had some juice to it, man. So 1st and 10, ball at the 44. Throws it and overthrows Jefferson, who was open running a corner route. If he catches it, he's probably inside the 15. And that's the difference between a young quarterback with an arm and a guy that has the arm but knows that it needs a little bit of touch. Granted, McCarthy was taking a hit as he was throwing that one, but you got to lay that one out. Second and 10. Ball at the 44. Hand off to Mason, and he's going to pick up about 8 or 9 yards there down near the 35. Oh, hold up. Hey. Let me move the ball. All right. All right, 3rd and 1. Oh, nice little end around. Naylor unable to get anything, man. Oliver, the tight end, absolutely getting blown up. And I believe that was Donovan Wilson making a hell of a play, fighting through the block, and then getting Naylor down for a loss of about 2, maybe 3 on 3rd and 1. Dude, Oliver probably outweighs Donovan Wilson by, at minimum, 20 to 30 pounds. You got to stop it. You got to, come on. 4th and 3, JJ in the shotgun alone. Throws it down the field. He's got a man, and it's going to be a catch. Jalen Naylor catching it right around the 15. 1st and goal for the Minnesota Vikings. Nice touch pass there. And, look at that pass compared to the Jefferson one. This one with great touch. Still had the velocity, but able to just kind of drop it down. Basically, it's like he's kind of just boom. Instead of just like a bullet that's almost like a line drive, it just allows the receiver to be able to catch that more naturally. 1st and 10, ball at the 14. JJ looks, throws, and Jefferson able to get away from a defender, picks up about 11 yards inside the 5. Dude, that was nearly one of those hospital balls, man. Dude, Jefferson is lucky, man. Lucky that I think it was Malik Hooker, the former Indianapolis Colt, kind of misjudged the angle there. Otherwise, he probably would have blown up at Jefferson. 1st and 10, play action. McCarthy looking, throws, and it's going to be batted at the line. I thought it was picked off again. 1:18 left in the 3rd. Oh, we do have a very, very late flag. And they're going to get number 59 for illegal contact. So I think that's going to be an automatic 1st down. Okay. First and goal from the 1. Throws to the left, and once again, touch goes right through the hands of Jefferson. You don't need to throw it that hard, man. He's wide open. He got separation. Just give him a catchable ball. That is Jefferson's 7th target. He only has 1 catch for 12 yards. Who's ever saying that's a good throw? That is not a good throw, man. That's too much juice, man. And it's going to be a handoff, and I believe that is Ham. Oh, look at that, man. Christmas came early because CJ Ham bringing in the presents, man. Let's freaking go. The camera has no idea where to go with this. Very true. Very true. Yeah, man. Nice little fake to the fullback, and he just waltzes in. All right. Minnesota an extra point away from the lead here. Ricard, good. All right, with 1:12 left in the third, Minnesota with a 1-point lead over the Dallas Cowboys here in Arlington, Texas. Haha, CJ Christmas Ham. Oh, yes. That's the one we're writing down. All right. I know we don't really see a whole lot of Viking games, and we're probably not going to see CJ Ham, but that is a great nickname. That is a heck of a nickname. Anytime you can incorporate a holiday into the nickname, only makes it better. Alrighty. Seastrom, why are we giving this many points to the Vikings? This could easily be 30. Get 30 at this rate. Yeah. I don't understand it, man. I legitimately do not know, like, what is the thing that's really holding them back? Because they got players, man. They got a good. Sorry, I shouldn't say good because they're not a good secondary, but they got players that have played good football, borderline great football at times. Like Malik Hooker, his first year and a half in the NFL, great, incredible. Donovan Wilson. I'm trying to think of who else is in that secondary right now. I'm blanking on names, but like these guys have played at a high level before, and it's wild to me. And that's why I think part of it is the scheme. Like, I know I was kind of giving Eberflus a little bit of credit early in the game. I was like, you know what? Hey, man, the team is improving defensively. Run game is looking good. The passing game hasn't been as horrendous at times, but still dead last in the NFL. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting to see if Eberflus is still the defensive coordinator after this season. Like, I think when you look at his history, like in Chicago, we're talking about recent history. Like, yeah, maybe he was a great, coordinator back in the day. I can't really remember exactly where he was before Chicago. I'm not going to lie to you. I can't remember. But, I mean, we're going on for, 5 years now? I think he only lasted like 2 or 3 years in Chicago. But, like you gotta be. What have you done for me lately, man? Like it's not. You can't be like, all right. Well, this year kind of sucked, and we're hoping you're not the worst defense in the NFL. Like it'd be one thing if it was like middle of the pack. You can survive with that. You can improve that with better players. But we're talking about one of the worst defenses in the passing game. They were really bad in the running game, but they got better at it. Still giving up a lot of touchdowns, a lot of points. It's just like. And not creating turnovers either. Like, that's the other thing, too. Like, some of the Packers' defenses during that Dom Capers, Mike Patton era, they were giving up a lot of yards, but they were creating turnovers. And that was helping. That was mitigating some of those negative big chunk plays. But Dallas doesn't have that right now. Like, to me, Dallas is a team that should be winning with the weapons that they have on offense and the way that they have their defense in terms of players. This should be 10 to 11 wins minimum, in my opinion. So I don't know. First and 10, Cowboys with the ball. All right, ball at the 35. Dak under center, hands it off to Williams. He cuts it upfield. Big chunk yardage again. Picks up 11 down to the 46. Seastrom feels like the Broncos are getting hot at just the right time, and by that I mean any week they play football at this point. Yeah, I think 11 wins consecutively now? Trying to remember. All right, another handoff. Williams bouncing it inside, getting another chunk here. Picks up about 8. And yes, 11 wins. They were at 1.1-2. Since then, they've gone 11-0. It's impressive. David Seastrom, go wash your mouth out with soap. There's no complimenting the donkeys here. Kidding, but oh, the truth hurts. The donkeys. I don't think I've ever heard that insult for the Broncos. That's hilarious. 2nd and 1. All right, Dak in the shotgun. And that's going to be the end of the 3rd. We head to the 4th with the Cowboys marching down the field here just inside Minnesota territory. Yeah, I still have no idea who the heck is going to win this game. Like the first quarter, I was like, okay, maybe Dallas will win this one. You know, it'll be like 28 to like 17, maybe like 35 to like 21. And then I was like, okay, well, maybe Minnesota squeaks out a win. And it's just like, I was like, Jesus, man. I was like, I don't know. I can't tell if both of these teams suck or they're good. I legitimately do not know. Seastrom, it's okay. I still give them 50-50 odds of collapsing in the playoffs, which they've clinched the spot at this point. True. Parker Curry, what's going on, brother? So Chiefs football are out of my playoffs now or not? The Chiefs have been officially eliminated from the playoffs. Yes. Yeah. No matter what they do, no matter who loses, unfortunately, and sorry, David, I'm not trying to tack on. But yeah, unfortunately, no matter what the Chiefs do, they are done for the year at the end of the regular season. So, yeah, for the first time since I think they said 2014, 2013, the Chiefs will not be in the playoffs. So, but Parker, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the channel, my man. Appreciate you being here. Also, who is your team, my dude? Let me know. Seastrom David, how about we go TP Perna's house? Beautiful. I mean, the amount of times Perna is late because he's pooping, he might need that toilet paper. And I say that in jest because I also am late. All right. Colts fans would join in at this point. 2nd and 1. And Javonte is going to be very close to a first down. I think he's going to come up just short. Was there a face mask there, or was that just... Or did he grab the shoulder pads, maybe? So, yeah, it'll be inches at this point. Also, Brian Flores has the smallest little play call sheet I've ever seen in my entire life compared to what Brian Schottenheimer has. Another handoff up the middle. Williams sneaks through. Gain of 2. First down, Dallas. All right. Pressure. Dak hit as he throws. This could be a fumble. And they're saying it's incomplete pass. They're calling this one dead. 2nd and 10. Yeah, that was the potential future Hall of Famer Harrison Smith just coming in on a blitz from the left side. Spanned forward, the tight end did not pick that up at all, man. Dude, I was like, dude, you got to keep your eye on the outside here, man. It's one thing if you block to the inside, but you got to be able to at least keep your eye on that one. Finds George Pickens to the outside there on the left side. Picks up a few yards. All right, we got 3rd and 4 here. Ball at the 37. Prescott. In the shotgun, running back to his left. Some pressure, and Prescott takes the sack back at the 41, maybe the 42. Dude, you got to throw that one away. You got to throw that one away. All right, this will be Aubrey's longest attempt of the night. He missed from 51, this one from 59. Kick is up, and it drifts wide right, man. Never had a chance. I feel like they rushed that one. I don't even feel like Aubrey was even set. Yeah, something's up with Aubrey today, man. He is missing from usually where he's almost a guarantee inside 60. All right. That's what I was saying, man. Dak, why are you taking that sack, man? Like, I know Aubrey has the leg, man, but come on. You still got to make it easy on him. All right, ball at the 49. Minnesota's going to get the ball near midfield. Mason with a toss. He finds about 3 or 4 yards getting it down in Dallas territory. All right, 2nd and 7, ball at the 45. McCarthy alone in the shotgun, 3 receivers to the right. Cowboys send 4. They get some pressure. McCarthy able to get out of a sack, runs up the field, and it dives for the first down. He's calling for a penalty. He got hit in the head, but I don't think you get the same protections when you dive forward head first. I was like, you only get that protection, one, in the pocket, also when you are sliding, not diving forward like a torpedo, man. Come on. All right. 10:55 left. Minnesota with the lead. McCarthy Rolling out to his right, throws it a dagger to the 30, to the 25, and it'll be a first down. Oliver able to hold on with a couple Dallas Cowboys trying to rip at that ball. David, LOL, that gave some Bill fans flashbacks. Yes, it did. Wide right. Wide right. All right, 1st and 10, ball to 22. McCarthy, play action. Looking, lofts one up, and it's going to be caught somehow by T.J. Hawkinson, the former Detroit player, man, getting it down near the 5. Dude, for a second there, I thought that was going to get picked off. I still have no idea how that thing did not get at least batted down. Yeah, that was it looks like Bell just completely mistimed the trajectory of that one, and also his arm got hit by by Hawkinson's helmet. Yeah, dude, you gotta come with some force on that one, dude. 1st and goal from the 4. Oh boy. McCarthy alone in the shotgun, looking to his right, throws to that right side and wide open. Jalen Naylor in the flat. Touchdown, Minnesota. And oh my gosh, are we seriously going to see the Minnesota Vikings win this freaking game? What the heck is Dallas doing? Absolutely freaking wild. Ooh. All right. Ricard's kick is up, and it is basically right down the middle. Minnesota up by 8 with 9:12 left in the game. Yeah, dude, this Cowboy secondary garbage, or as we say in Spanish, basura. Pure trash. David Stickasar's Bears are sitting around grinning like idiots this weekend. Yes, they are. Those dumb Bears. Hopefully the Packers can bounce back next week and knock them off, man. Are the Chargers football team in the playoffs this year or not yet? I don't think they have secured or guaranteed a playoff spot, but they are in position. I think they're the 5th or the 6th seed in the playoffs right now. Let's see here. Playoff picture, according to NFL.com, Broncos are number 1, Patriots are 2, Jags 3, Steelers 4, Chargers are 5th. They have a 92% chance of making the playoffs. The Bills are the 6th seed, and they have a 99% chance to make the playoffs, and the Texans have a 94% chance. In the NFC, the Rams are number 1. They have clinched a playoff spot. Broncos have also clinched the playoff spot as well. Bears have a 74% chance to make the playoffs. They are the 2nd seed. Eagles, 98%. They are the 3rd. Buccaneers, 76%. They're the 4th seed. Seahawks, 99% chance to make the playoffs. 5th seed. 49ers, 97, 6th seed. And the Packers, 87%. They are the 7th seed. And I just realized that the Green Bay plays the next 2 Saturdays. Yeah, man. It's going to be weird. It's going to be very, very weird. Turpin trying to get a big play here. Reversing field to the left. He's got some room. He's to the 30, to the 35, 40, 45, 50. He's down the sidelines. And it's going to be, pretty sure, coming back. Yep, holding on the Cowboys. And that's going to be on Godwin, number 29. So, what? Am I crazy or did I not see a hold? First and 10. Dak needs to run to this right. Tries to dump it over the defender. He does. George Pickens picks up about 15, maybe 16 on the catch and run. All right, we got first and 10, ball at the 32. Hand off to Williams. Picks up some big yardage across the 40 down to the 42. Holy cow, man. That was about 15 yards on the ground there. So Tyler Guyton is already out for the Cowboys, and now the backup, Nate Thomas, is on the sidelines. So the Cowboys on to their 3rd left tackle so far. They have Hakeem Adanji. All right, first and 10, hand off to Williams, and he's good for about a yard or 2 down to the 44. So Ravens football are out of the playoffs now? No, not yet. Not yet. They still have a chance because the Steelers are only a game above them. So if the Steelers lose a game or 2, Ravens will win the division. And it's going to be a throw to the left. Flournoy making a couple guys miss, and he is going to be very close to a first down. Yeah, basically in the AFC, whoever wins the NFC North is going to make the playoffs, obviously, and then the other teams will not. So it's the Ravens and the Steelers. Whoever wins the division makes the playoff. Whoever doesn't goes likely not going to be making the playoffs there, so goes out. All right, first and 10, ball at the 48 of Minnesota here. 6:30 left in the game. Dak looking pressured, rolls to his left. There's a flag in the backfield, finds Malik Davis, picks up 14 before going out of bounds, but I think this is going to be coming back. Steve, you just can't make this up. When everybody lose, Dallas lose within wisdom. And Joanne, what's going on? Jonah, what's going on, brother? Man, GPG, that was rough. It was, man. It 100% was. Yeah, man. What's going on, Jonah? How you been, man? It's been a while. It's good to see you, my man. So it'll be first and 20, ball back at the 42 for The Cowboys, the ball is going to be thrown incomplete, trying to target CeeDee Lamb on that one. Parker Curry's are the Carolina Panthers football in the playoffs or not? They are in the same boat as the Ravens. If they win their division, they make the playoffs. Then the Buccaneers don't, and vice versa. Right now, the Buccaneers are the top in the division, but next week, both of those teams have the same record. They will be going head to head with each other. So whoever wins that game next week takes the lead in the division. Second and 20. But yeah, Jono, how you been, my dude? Let me know. And he finds, I believe that is CeeDee Lamb, picks up about 12 yards, maybe 13 there. On a short route there on the right side. The Lions, not yet. And Davis trying to catch it, trying to haul it in, and that'll be incomplete. 4th and 7 coming up. 5:35. Yeah, the Lions need a couple teams ahead of them to lose. Mostly the Packers and the 49ers, really. The Packers would have to lose every single game, and the Lions would have to win every single game for them to swap out. Once again, the Packers have the tiebreaker over the Lions. All right, 4th and 7. This is kind of the game. All right. Dak in the shotgun. Pressure. Gets it out. Throws it down the field. And I don't think they got it. I think he's going to be about half a yard shy. I think he picked up 6.5 on 4th and 7. And Jonathan Grenard for the Vikings, he is down on the ground holding his head. Dave, we could get OT. Oh, please no. Please no. Please no. But yeah, it seems like he's about, looks like Malik Davis is about a yard or a yard and a half shy. So, all right. It's going to be a turnover on downs, I believe, when we come back. Oh, actually, I never moved the ball. You know what? That's because I knew the Cowboys were going to turn it over on downs. I already knew. I didn't forget. Parker Curry, who's your favorite college football team? I am a Wisconsin Badger fan, for good or bad, unfortunately. They are not really good this year. They haven't really been good for a while. But, you know, I always like to support the home teams, my man. How about you, Parker? Who's your favorite team? College or NFL? Let me know. Dave's college team is the Wisconsin Badgers, followed by Kansas City State Wildcats. 100%. 100%. That also means that, David, your second favorite team is the Wisconsin Badgers, right? Once they start getting good, sure. That's fair. That's fair. Parker Curry, Kansas City State football in bowl game this year. Let's go. Yeah, I'm still riding the high of being able to make it to a Badger game this year, man. And of course, they won. Beating an Illinois team just like a good Wisconsin team better. All right, I'm just saying. All right, we may suck, but we're always going to be better than any team from Illinois. All right? That's how it should be. That's how the universe, God, and nature intended it. All right? That's why Wisconsin is on top of Illinois. All right? Don't get mad at me, all right, man? That's how geography works. All right, Jonathan Grenard able to walk off the field. He's smiling on the sidelines. It's going to be a run up the middle, and Mason violently just ramming his face into a couple defenders, picking up about 3 yards on that one. Yeah, so it looks like Grenard actually just injured his left hand, or maybe his a couple of his fingers on his left hand. 2nd and 7. Mason again trying to reverse field, and he's not going to pick up anything. 3rd and 7 coming up. 4:35 on the clock. Clock is running. And we do have a Cowboys player down on the ground. That is Williams. A guy that they gave up a 1st and a 2nd to acquire from the Jets. Almost the same amount that they got from Green Bay to pick up Micah Parsons. All right, let's see here. Quinnen. He just kind of gets pushed into a couple of his own players. It looks like he gets a head injury. Got hit in the back of the head a little bit as he was falling down. Steve, so how did Green Bay lose to Denver? All I remember from that game is Green Bay leading at halftime. Then I went to sleep. So the Packers defense, they ended up losing Micah Parsons in the 3rd quarter. He was pursuing and trying to bring down Bo Nix, and when he tried to make a cut back towards him, his left knee just kind of gave out. It just kind of popped. And as of right now, it's not an official diagnosis, but the Packers have reported that they fear that it's a torn ACL. So Micah Parsons is likely done for the year and probably won't be returning for anywhere between 7 to 10 months. So it depends. But yeah, once the Packers lost Micah, their pass rush of any kind just kind of evaporated, and then the secondary started giving up big chunks. The Packers offense couldn't really get anything going. They were without Zach Tom, who got injured in that game as well. They also lost Christian Watson. Jacobs was kind of limited for the most part. He had like a knee injury that I think he re-aggravated. So he was kind of in and out of the lineup for the most part. And yeah, man, it was just a struggle for the Packers offense, man. They just couldn't really get anything down the field. Once Christian Watson went out, the deep shots down the field kind of just ended. And eventually the Packers just they kept it slightly close, but unfortunately Denver's defense just kind of too much for the Packers offense right now. So yeah, it was a little bit of a whimper for the Packers, just a little bit. They kept fighting, but unfortunately the injuries were just too much, man. All right, so the good news is Quinnen Williams is walking off under his own power. He seems more frustrated than anything else. So we'll see if we see him back in the game. They are going to need him to be able to stop this Minnesota offense. All right, 3rd and 7. 2 receivers to the left. McCarthy in the shotgun, running back to his right. Looking, pressure, finds his tight end, who picks up. Ooh, actually. Oh, man, Overshown with a great tackle. I think it's going to be 4th down. 4th and about a yard, maybe half a yard. I mean, that's close. It's definitely more. It's definitely less than a yard. Hawkinson nearly fumbled that one too. All right, man. They're going for it. 4th and 1 at their own 48.5 yard line. They need to get it to the 49. So we got three. Let me see here. They're going to use a timeout here. Stopping the clock at 3:20. Steve, it is sad to hear about. Hope he gets better and Green Bay do something against the Bears. I appreciate that, Steve, man. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, man. Unfortunately, injuries are part of it, of the NFL, of any sports. Honestly, man, it's a violent game, and yeah, man, it just sucks, man. Like, yeah, you never want to lose players like that, or really any players in any way, but players that make like an impact, that make the game entertaining, always fun to watch. Yeah, you never want to lose those guys to major injuries, man. All right, we got 4th and 1. Hand off to Jones, and he picks up the first. And the clock is going to keep running. Dallas is going to have to start using their timeouts here if they want the ball back north of the 2-minute warning. And they do. They use their first here of the second half. 3:16 on the clock. Yeah, a little play action here, or I should say option. And McCarthy handing it off to his speedy back there, and Aaron Jones picking up 3 tough yards. And they are in Dallas territory as well. So let's see here. I think if Dallas loses tonight, they are out of the playoff race, I think. 1st and 10, ball at the 48 of Dallas. Jones up the middle, and he picks up 2, maybe 3. Hey, we hit our goal, baby. Let's go. 5 or more likes. Frick yeah, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you. All right, we got 2nd and 8. McCarthy under center, single back in the backfield. 2 tight end set. Hands it off to Jones. He's got some room. It's a 1st down and more. Down to the 35. He might have fumbled the ball. They're marking him down at the 30. No fumble. Ooh. There was a punch at the ball. Let's see. And he is down. The ball doesn't squirt out until his back is on the ground. They definitely out, even if they win their next 3 games, 9-6-1. That is not enough. True. And Brian Schottenheimer risking the biscuit here. Either way, they're going to use a timeout, so he's actually just going to throw a challenge flag, see if there's any chance for them to get the ball back, because it was recovered by Dallas. Let me see here. So technically, from what I'm seeing here, they are not out of the playoffs. If they lose, they have a 1% chance. If they don't. Even if they won, they have a 10% chance. So, yeah. So if they lose tonight, it's not really whether they are going to be eliminated. It's just more of when they will be. Yeah, they would literally need everything to go their way. They would need to win every single game, and every single team that's above them would need to basically lose the rest of the way. All right, we got first and 10 for the Vikings. The play was not overturned. So, first and 10. McCarthy hands it off. Jonesy gets stacked up for a loss of 1 on the play. So, Dallas will use their final. Actually, no, they don't have any more timeouts. Never mind. Apparently, I've been missing them. My bad. They did lose their final one on that challenge a couple seconds ago. So Minnesota will need to run one more play before the 2-minute warning. That'll set up a third down if they don't pick up a first here. Yeah, the amount of games against Dallas, he's averaging 123 yards, Aaron Jones. Definitely did not hit that mark today because he's not in green and gold. That's why. And Mason picks up either a yard or nothing on that one. So, but keeps the clock running. And we're going to hit the 2-minute warning here. So the good news is for the Vikings, the ball is at the Dallas 31. So even if they can pick up like 2 to 4 yards on this third down play, even if they don't obviously go for it on fourth, they could just kick a field goal and be up by 11, two possessions, with probably around 120, 130 left on the clock. David, I don't like how many matchups in the last 3 weeks are divisional teams, other division team. It just feels like too manufactured drama at this point. That is intentional. That is very, very much intentional. And they've been doing this for, I think they started doing this like 12 years ago, roughly. They usually like to squeeze in the like 3 to 2 divisional matchups in the final like 5 weeks. Sometimes even in the final 3 weeks. Ooh, misdirection, but it goes nowhere. Jonesy losing some yardage back at the 35. So this makes the field goal now, instead of what would have been a 49, 48 yarder, now 50 plus for Ricard. And Minnesota's going to let this clock wind down all the way to the final second or two of the play clock and use their second timeout. At this point, Dallas playing to get overtime. True. Yeah, even if the Vikings miss this field goal, scoring a touchdown and the 2-minute 2-point conversion only ties the game. So nothing too crazy will happen here unless there's a turnover that goes for a touchdown on the kick. Blocked kick, touchdown, leaves a couple more seconds left. Even then, Dallas would have to recover the onside kick. There just isn't enough time to give Minnesota a full possession. All right, Minnesota using their final timeout here, stop the clock at 1:13, and they send out Ricard. So he's 1 for 1 tonight, 29 yards. This one from 53. Snap, hold, kick, and it is good. It looked like it was going wide right, but came back inside. And that is likely going to spell the end. for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, but I agree with you, David. It is definitely manufactured. I don't mind it. It just feels like it makes the games. And the reason this is what the reason was said a couple years ago that sometimes some teams that have already kind of clinched the playoff spot. Maybe they don't have much to gain in the final week or two. This way, the divisional games carry a little bit more weight, not only in the conference but in their division. So it keeps those games from being just a bunch of teams resting players or maybe not trying as hard. Maybe by the second half, they'll just rest a couple guys. This way, it's a rivalry game. It's in the division. Usually, those games still matter towards the end. And I think that's just to keep the NFL interesting in the final week or two. So, don't mind it. It's definitely manufactured, but all right. Kick goes out the back of the end zone. And the Cowboys, we'll see if they can play with a little bit of pride here, maybe score a touchdown, get some points on the board here before the game ends. All right, 1st and 10. Single receiver to the left. Dak in the shotgun, running back to his left. Pressure. Dak steps up in the pocket, delivers a throw, and it's nope, incomplete. Ryan Flournoy playing the corner and stopping Harrison Smith from intercepting that one. Steve, will Dallas season eye over Chiefs, or are Dallas out in the same day? What a day. So technically, I think they still are not eliminated, but basically they don't control their destiny anymore. Like, no matter what they do from now on, if somebody else above them wins a game, I think it's basically just like the 49ers or the Packers. If one of those teams wins one more game at any point in the season, Dallas is likely eliminated. Dak rolling out to his right, throws. He finds a wide open receiver down to the Minnesota 40, and they're going to try to clock the ball here. 47, 46, and they got Minnesota's Rodgers, number 2. They're one of the top corners for this team. He is down on the ground, so that will stop the clock. David, I just want more than one other game between rematches. Week 15, then 18. Okay, week 16, then 18. Why not just go full ridiculous mode and have all 6 divisional games the last 6 weeks? That's fair. Yeah, I agree. It's very weird to be kind of like coming back like just basically a game in between. I would definitely like because I feel like that gives you different storylines. You know, at least 2 or 3 games in between divisional games. So, yeah, like the Green Bay Packers last week they played the Chicago Bears. Next week they play the Chicago Bears. So. Yeah, right now they're highlighting Brandon Aubrey's 2 missed field goals from 50 plus, and you know, yeah, you could argue that he played a factor in the loss, but at the end of the day, the Cowboys defense giving up 34 points to one of the worst offenses in the NFL. 1st and 10, Dak looking, has time over the middle, and he finds CeeDee Lamb down to the 22. Let's freaking go. 33 seconds, 32, 31, 30. Takes the snap, looking, over the middle, and that's going to be incomplete. 23 seconds left. I am currently up by nearly 71 points in my matchup here. And they're going to send out Brandon Aubrey here to try to cut this to a 1-possession deficit here. 23 seconds left. All right, this one from 41. He's been perfect from under 50. Kick is up, and it is right down the middle. $19 left. So successful onside kicks, 45 attempts, 4 of them successful. That is a 9% chance so far in 2025. So it's better than nothing. Let me see here. David, yeah, how's your fantasy team? Yep. Right now, my opponent, 117.82. 117.82. He's got one more player to play tomorrow. That is Kenneth Gainwell. And I am at 188.42. So up by nearly 71 points. So unless Kenneth Gainwell has the greatest fantasy week by a single player ever, I will be going to the championship round in my fantasy league. So let's freaking go. All right, man. Aubrey looks like he's aiming there to the right side of the Dallas formation. We'll see where he kicks it. Just recover it, please. Come on. Make this game a little interesting. To the left, and it's recovered by Minnesota. I don't know, man. I don't know. Come on. Yeah, unfortunately, Oliver, the tight end there, picks it up. Never really got that bounce up that kind of spikes it up a little bit. It went through Oliver's hands initially, but then able to just fall and corral that one. So it wasn't a bad attempt by Aubrey. Just unfortunately, the ball just did not bounce wild enough. And McCarthy takes a knee, and that is it, man. Dallas on the brink of elimination. Their chances have gone down to basically just 1% to make the playoffs. So, and Minnesota has been already eliminated from the playoffs as of this afternoon, with Chicago winning, but they do improve to 6-8. And the Cowboys are going to be under 500 once again, dropping to 6-7-1. But hot dang, man. Just a horrendous week for me, man. I think for any Packers fan, any fan of like football, I think you even have to say that, man. Like, Devontae Adams, Micah Parsons, Patrick Mahomes. Like, at least 2 out of those 3 guys, their seasons are over, which sucks. And on top of that, the Packers lost. Vikings won. Chicago won. Detroit couldn't get a win when the Packers needed them to win. So, yeah. This is some bull crap, man. I didn't sign up for this. I'm going to be talking to that script writer, man. He better calm himself down, all right? All right, if you don't want the Packers to win this week, that's one thing, all right, man? But they'll be taking our best players. You sadistic monster. All right, me and David are going to be looking for that freaking script writer, man. All right, when we see him, dude. All right, the sledgehammers, the bats, we're going for him. After we're done with that garbage can. All right, man. What a wild freaking week 15. Definitely not what we were expecting in the worst kinds of ways. But yeah, let's do just a quick little recap of some of the more interesting storylines that kind of wrapped up this week. Let me see here. Come on, give me the schedule. There we go. So obviously the Ravens needed to win big against the Bengals to keep their season alive. They did that, shutting them out 24-0. The Eagles needing to get back on track after I think losing three of their last four games, or three consecutive games actually. They shut out the Raiders, which not surprising that they won. It was just maybe a little bit surprising that they shut them out 31-0. Chargers beat the Chiefs for the second time to this season. They obviously won in week one, and now they win here 16-13. The Bills getting a big victory over the Patriots 35-31. The Chicago Bears jumping back at the to be the second seed in the NFC with a win over the Browns 31-3. The Panthers couldn't get it done against the Saints, so that sets up a winner-take-all matchup next week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams secure themselves or tighten their grip on that number one seed in the NFC with a 41-34 victory over the Lions. Old Man Rivers could not lead the Indianapolis Grandpas to a victory over the Seattle Seahawks. I shouldn't even say the Seattle Seahawks. I should say Jason Myers, who was the only player for the Seahawks to actually score any points. He kicked 6 field goals and made all 6. They won 18-16 over the Colts. We did see Philip Rivers score a touchdown at the age of 44 when literally a week ago to the day he was sitting on the couch likely hanging out with his entire 13 kids. Like it's not like Philip Rivers like, all right, man, I'm gonna be signing this contract with the Colts on Sunday. As of that point, man, he was very much retired 5 years into it. So it was pretty cool to see that Philip Rivers can still play in the NFL, score, threw a touchdown, threw also a pick, but got some stuff done. The Packers losing big. They dropped from the second seed in the NFC to the 7th, losing to the Broncos 34-26. Speaking of a team kind of strengthening their hold on the number one seed, the Broncos, with the Patriots losing and them winning, they have a little bit of a buffer between them and the Patriots in the AFC for that number one seed. And then finally, the Cowboys losing here tonight, dropping their chances to make the playoffs to about 1% or less. And that's about it, man. Tomorrow night, we finish off Week 15. Dolphins, Steelers should be a great matchup. The Dolphins have won 5 out of their last 6 games, right? Yeah. And the Steelers right now are trying to keep the Ravens at bay and trying to stay a game ahead of them. Obviously, if they lose, they are still, I believe, leading the division because they have that tiebreaker over the Ravens. But we'll see if the Steelers can get a win and hopefully secure the playoff berth in that division, man. We'll see. All right, man. That's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you so much to everybody that's still watching, that watched throughout the day. It was a wild freaking Sunday. Obviously, the NFL season has been really freaking weird, and this week did nothing to change that. So, yeah, that's going to be it for me tonight, man. Cowboys couldn't get it done. Minnesota winning. And, of course, my last view of this game is going to be J.J. McCarthy gritting to the end zone. Monsters. Let me give a couple shout-outs before I take off. Sorry, here. Shout out to David, Captain Mickey Mouse. I appreciate you guys. You're always here. Chris Lasso, you were also here, my man. Appreciate you. Dahlia Rushkis, appreciate you. Thank you. Let me see here. C-Strom! Sorry, your Cowboys couldn't get it done, man. I'm sorry. Hopefully they can still give you a couple more wins before the season ends. We had a couple new people here. Parker Curries, shout out to you, my man. I appreciate the questions. Steve was also in here. Jonah Van Ness was in here for a little bit. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you back. But that's going to be it for me. Go Pack Go. Have a great night. Hopefully your Monday is phenomenal, and I'll catch you guys for that Monday night game. Once again, my name is Dave, and I'm not a coach. Thank you.